See my cute bunnies today? The one on the right is an Angora bunny because he's super fuzzy on the top, on his head. I am gonna work on a yellow card today. First, I'm gonna do some stretches. I'm reaching to the sky with my arms, really crunching up towards my ears, getting my shoulders stretched and my back stretched, rolling my back and my shoulders, trying to wake them up, putting my head side to side. Take some nice deep breaths, get centered. For those of you that are sitting on a non-rolling chair like me, put your feet flat on the floor, straighten up your spine. I'm on a rolly chair so my feet don't quite touch the ground, and then I roll around too much, so I just keep them on the legs. I'm gonna go ahead and roll my head forward and just roll it softly side to side. Pull your fingers back one by one, getting them stretched. Do both hands, even though you're only going to probably draw with one. And then our aqua aerobics, we play the piano. That gets your fingers all going. Make a fist and hold it really tight. Loosen it up. And then here's I've got my two bunnies on my yellow paper, you can see. I left this time, my first one that I did, I left room at the bottom for the Happy Easter, and this time I'm gonna leave room at the top. So, and if you're going to be doing it individually, I just centered it right on my tile. Oops, let me get on screen here. So let's start with our string. Hopefully you guys have your rabbits ready. I'm going to show you two of them today. And you either are doing it on a card or you're doing it individually on a tile. However you're doing it, you can make two rabbits today. The string is the same for each of them. So what we're going to do is, you can see mine is pretty light. Mine's a little bit darker than yours. Hopefully yours is light. There's some areas we will go ahead and trace over, and somewhere just not even, we're gonna ignore. So let's start first. We're gonna just give him a little, we're gonna string his ears here, just from one side to the other. And I'm gonna give him little eyes. And a cute little nose. And then you're going to follow along under his chin. And you're going to round this off and make it a big, beefy leg. He's got a big front leg, so do that on both of them. And you can do yours a little bit lighter. And then we've got this foot here, so we're gonna kind of leave that open-ended, but I'm following that. And then for his tail, you're just gonna kind of round that area. And that should be your string for, I'll hold up the bunny really close so that you can see. So you're gonna have to work with an 01. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start on the left bunny here. Let me get that in. And I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit. Do let me know if I'm off camera. Okay, so we're gonna start with left bunny. Let me move this here. The first thing we're gonna do is ah. And you guys remember ah is kind of like this, sort of firework-ish. And you fill it in. You can do dashed, solid, and you fill it in. Well, that's kind of what our tail's gonna be like, but we're only gonna be doing half. So what I'm gonna do, make sure that I'm on camera here. I'm gonna go ahead and trace this, and then I'm gonna do a V in the middle. Okay, and that's, so you can see I'm totally ignoring that tail. And I'm gonna start over here and just make a dashed line, and feel free to, they don't have to be exactly the same height and length. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add little poof balls on them. You can see I'm making some of them longer and some shorter. Adding those little poof balls on some of them. And there's our first little cottontail. See how cute that is? Is everybody ready to move on? I'm going to show you the next one. Is Gnarly by Barbara Finwall. And it's basically a big upside down comma. Then you're going to follow this around, and this part's all going to get colored in. I'm not going to spend time doing that right now. Then you do another one. And again, do the same thing, run it in. That's also going to get colored in. And then you follow, kind of auraing with some flux. And fill it in like that. Okay, I'll show you again. Make sure I'm on camera here. So I'm just going to follow the back, his back. I'm going to go ahead and trace over my lines as best I can. And where I meet that ah, I'm gonna curl it in. And I'm gonna go ahead and go back. Until I meet that line. I'm gonna make another one. Oh, and he went backwards this time. That's okay. And then here, I'm gonna follow it, make a flux, and have some flux coming out of here. And I'm gonna grab my pen and color that in, fixing any bumpy lines that you have. Like right here, got a little less rounded, so I'm gonna go ahead and round it a little bit more, because bunnies are kind of soft and round. We have a little bunny that hangs out on our property, and he hides under the trailer, and my pup just recently discovered him and was fascinated with watching him hop across the field. He's a cute little guy. Go ahead and make this guy a little bit fatter here. Flip them upside down just so it's easier for me to color. It takes a little bit of time to color this one in, but that's okay. That's what we're doing today. And then you go ahead and color in those flux as well. I'm only working with black and white today, but these would be fun in pastels for Easter. Well, I'm working in black and yellow since my card is yellow. But I'm only going to be working with microns and, my graphite pencil today. This is where you can correct if you got some, it's not as rounded as you like. You can kind of correct it there. Oops. Oh, I forgot one string line, but it's okay, we can transition. And that's kind of right here at his neck here. his neck to his arm. We're gonna do a tangle in his head and in his, a little bit in his body. So if you want to give him a neck. Back to my Micron 01. And I'm gonna work on this front leg because I want to get the definition right here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, you guys all know printemps. And we're gonna do printemps in both of the bunny's legs. The first bunny, I'm gonna do oval. Okay, and then make them nice and long like that and overlap. And then the other one I'm going to make really small circular printemps just for a different look. So you'll see these two, whoops, let me get it here. So you can see one's real small tight circles and the other one's real big, but it really defines those legs. So when you're doing them, I started kind of right here with my first one. Okay, and then went in and started adding. You can turn your tile as you need to. Don't worry if you go outside the line. We are going to go ahead and we'll give it some shading to define that leg. So just kind of fill that area in as best you can with nice oval printemps. And when I'm running into the outside of his leg, I am going ahead and I'm stopping. You can actually continue if you want him to have, actually I might even continue this guy, have a little bit of poofiness right there because they do have that little cottony chest. And I'm doing them every just which way. Whoops. Didn't realize I was off camera. Sorry. And yes, I am going to go ahead and fill in the interstices once I get them all in here. And I'm kind of going to also go ahead and just retrace kind of around that foot. To his belly. I'm going to stop at his belly. Now I'm not going to retrace the line on the inside here. I'm only retracing the outside line to give him some definition, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill in these interstices. So there's one leg. And whoever's ready to go on, you can go ahead and fill in the next leg with your tight, small, round printemps. And if you run into one, go ahead and holly-baw or have it disappear into the edge. Again, on the back side, you don't have to worry about if you go over your pencil line, because we'll go ahead and define that with shading. And you can see, despite them both being printemps, the big ovally ones versus the small tight circular ones really give it a different look. Turn your tile as you need to get those printemps in. Some on the top, some underneath. That one I'm going to go ahead and finish there. And again, do the same thing on the outside. Kind of follow along, redefine that line of his leg, and you can fill in the interstices also along there. If you want, you can wait in between these. And then we're going to shadow along there. Just got that powerful front legs for hopping along in the forest. All right, I'm going to move over to this guy's tail, and we're going to do a henna drum. So just kind of trace this back part, and then I'm giving him a small little moon shape there, and that I'm going to color in. And if you want, I know my Aunt Pam loves moon pie, but I just thought the henna drum was so cute. So I'm going to do 2 lines up the middle and attach them. Another line up the middle and one kind of angled off and attach them with a wavy line. And then one more and kind of attach it down here at the bottom. Move over to the other side. Attach them with a wavy line and one more. Oh, I didn't get him quite attached. And I'm going to do my little flicks up the flower petal on every single one of them. And then I like to, and I've shown this before, I do small little flicks about halfway up. And I think it just gives it a little more definition and it darkens up that petal. And once your ink dries, if that pencil line is bothering you, you can go ahead and erase it. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my first bunny. And I am going to go ahead and trace along this bottom line and bring it in and make a muka. And then I'm going to go up, make a muka, make another muka, and that's kind of his line. And we're going to go ahead and we'll shade along that, so it's no big deal, but I'm going to add some tipple right in here and just kind of fill it in. And then on this leg, I'm just going to fill in with tipple. So you can just do different sizes. I think you guys are all familiar with tipple. And I'm just going to bring it right over here into the tail area. And then if you want, you can again outline that leg, fill in the interstices. So Aunt Pam, if you're doing the tipple, just follow it along on that front leg. You can just do the tipple there, and on the back leg of this one you can do the muka like I did. You can do the muka a couple of different ways. You can make the muka, let me show you another one. You can make the muka go downwards if you want his foot going down, or you can go upwards. So it just depends on how you want to do it. I've done it different every time. And I left the muka on this open just because these are so heavy right here, and then the tipple right here, I just kind of left that open. All right, over here on the left bunny, I'm gonna retrace his tummy. And we're gonna go ahead, and since we did a henna drum on the right side, we're gonna put a henna drum on the left side. So we're gonna go ahead and round it, give it an aura, straight line up, attach with a wavy line, another straight line up, make it wavy, one more straight line, attach it to the muka, and then I'm going to aura that. Go ahead and do your flicks up. And I'm going to grab my pen and go ahead and color that in. And on the other side, we're going to make a moon pie. My moon pie is a little different than other people's, but go ahead and do the same thing between the two legs. You're just going to go ahead and round that. Make an oval or a backward C shape. Go ahead and aura it. And then I do the tipple on top. And then I aura the whole thing. Grabbing my pen again, color that tummy in. So if you decide to make more of these, you just kind of want to do something with the backs and the front legs that are a circular type form, so it looks like a puffy cotton, and then you're able to fill in with it whatever you want to fill in. Get those two. Go out a little bit so you can see they're really coming along. Okay, so on this right bunny, I'm going to go ahead and go in, about 1/8 of an inch and aura that line down into the henna drum. Okay, Levy, you start with that line and you're just going to do little random fluxes along that line, kind of alternating. And then on each side, you go ahead and you copy that aura And as you run into the flux, you go ahead and go behind it. We're going to holly bob behind it. Take your time on this one. And I'm going to do another aura on the other side, going behind the flux sleeves. Excuse me. Then as you see, ooh, gotta sneeze. And then as you see, goodness, something's gotten into me today. It's a little chilly in my house, so I'm gonna add some more flux sleeves to some of these open spots. Grab a drink of water here. And then I'm going to go ahead and do another aura down. This bunny I'm calling my Angora bunny because he's a little more fluffy than the first bunny. And you'll see once we do his head. And I think I'm going to do one more set. Doesn't need a whole lot, maybe one right here. And trace that. Final line on his back. Pam. So Umemi is just a circle with 4 or 5 petals, rounded petals. And then on each end, it has a colored in triangle. And then flicks up from the center circle. That's Umemi. Okay, we're going to go ahead and fill in just this tiny bit of space right here. And all I'm doing is some Umemi. Start with a circle and you add 5 petals. And then they have a little triangle at the end. This is becoming one of my mac and cheese. I just love the look of it. It's so simple. I'm going to do another one here on his neck, half a circle. Do a small one right here. Leaving a little bit of open space. And I think I'll do one more right here that kind of just moves its way into his face. So it just gives a little area to start the one we're going to do on his face. And you can add little flicks again up these flowers. I think I'm going to throw, I have a little opening right here. I'm going to throw a little tiny You Made Me right here. It's going to run into everything, but that's okay. And it only has 4 petals. Just enough opening that all right, I'm going to go ahead right now and color their eyes, and I'm going to give myself a small aura around the eye just so it doesn't disappear too much. On both the bunnies. And I'm going to go ahead and color in their fluffy noses. Now I think you all know, use poke root. Two lines up, little sad mouth, and the little round to make it look like a cherry. That's what it reminds me of. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in this guy's face. As I run into the nose or the eyes, I'm just holly-buying behind it. I'll make one long one come out right here. And then I got one here I'm gonna bring up. And then you can go ahead and redefine this the head. And if you want, you can fill in the interstices. I did not because I think that it ran into the nose and the eyes too much. So I didn't fill that part in, but you can add like half circles like this so it looks like there's more. Okay, for the bunny ears, for on the right side facing one, I'm going to do I can't too. And I just kind of follow the curve a little bit. And then follow it up. And then the second ear, I come off of that same area. And follow it around. So you're going to have your pencil line, which you can go ahead and erase. So it should look like a butterfly. And then do the same. It's going to be the longer one's going to be over here. Okay. Okay, so that's I can't too. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and start it kind of in the center. Follow that ear, and you get 2 lines. Follow it, sort of following the outline and sort of not. So and this little guy is a little bit shorter. Okay. So there's his ears. And then on this guy, I'm going to do S-Cis, and it's basically 3 lines, almost like a little basket weave. And then this side you attach with straight lines, dots down, straight lines, dots across, straight lines, dots down. And I'm going to fill in that body with that. But before I do that, I'm going to do sand swirl, which is like this. And that's going to give my little Angora head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of follow this line. Okay, and then you can make another one come out here. And you're just going to sand swirl his little head. And you can go outside of the lines on this one because it makes them look poofy, like a little Angora bunny. And then I went ahead, now let me get one more right here. So it fills in this space. And you can go ahead and fill in these, some of these areas. Go ahead and finish your line on your back. And then let's just hope that my internet is enough to let me post. I'm going to go ahead and give him his ear on this side and his ear on this side. Just remember to do them back to back, and then I can go ahead and finish connecting the sand swirl here and fill in. And he's a little Angora bunny. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and do that S size, and I'm just going to start right here. Do my lines. And you just kind of do them opposite. And if you run out of space, just go ahead and hollybot it. And I'm just filling in his whole belly with that. And you can see I'm just kind of hollowing behind this piece over here. I'm giving enough space in between. Okay, and then you go back and add your stripe lines, add your dots. Stripe lines, dots, stripe lines, dots, stripe lines, dots, and so forth. And I will finish that part later. But I want to show you. So when you've got this line, I kind of just outlined his leg and take the tortillon and really give it some definition. Okay, and then around his ears, I did the same thing. Give it some definition around the, I can too. And do the same, give some definition to the poofy tail. Then with this leg, I did the outline of that leg. You can go ahead and give some definition in the poke root. Gives them just a little bit of coloring, and if you want, you can use whatever's left on your tortillon just to give him a little bit of shadow on his back. And then the same thing here, I did the sand swirl, just kind of give it some definition. Might want to erase some of that headline there. And then the Fleavy I just kind of outlined on the inside. And then go ahead and outline those printemps inside and give his legs some definition. Don't forget this set of ears. And you can see that this part needs to be attached right here. Go. Don't forget to add your chop. And there you have it. There are the bunnies.